Now, I don't see how Israel can ever sit down with Hamas unless and until it gives up terrorism. You can't sit down with a party that says, if you don't do what I want you to do, I'm going to kill you. You can't sit down with Hamas as a negotiating partner when it continues with its covenant, which says that every Jew that entered historic Palestine after 1917 must be expelled. I mean, it's nuts, right? But that's their covenant. And they are, in my judgment, ultimately to become the senior partner in the Palestinian Authority, because even though the population that they govern in Gaza is less than that governed on the West Bank, I believe, by the Fatah, what they do have going for them there is that they are not corrupt, and Fatah is. So you have a violent terrorist, non-corrupt organization against an alleged organization that says that it has forsworn violence, which is Fatah. I'm not sure it has, but that's what on the record it says it has. And as Alan pointed out, while agreed upon swaps sounds okay, how can you have agreed upon swaps with a terrorist organization Hamas that says that Tel Aviv is theirs? Because that's what they've said. And so I honestly don't understand how you could expect Israel ever to sit down with Hamas unless and until it forswears terrorism, gives it up entirely, before negotiating with Israel, recognizing its legitimacy, and if there is an agreed to settlement, that it will then, and it must say it now, accept Israel as a Jewish state. And until those conditions occur, there cannot be a negotiation. And that's extremely important for people to recognize. Now, what is also interesting to me is that Durban 3 has been a big flop. There's no coverage of it. I mean, if you ask the average person in the streets what it is, he has no idea. They have failed in their efforts from a PR point of view. Now, they're not going to fail in their efforts to continue to issue resolutions at the United Nations. People often ask me, should we end the United Nations? I said, no, every house needs a cesspool. And when I was mayor, that's how I referred to the United Nations then. I refer to it now. Now, when you, in that form, last night I attended a function at the public library that was held by the United States for the delegates and for the public. The president greeted people there. And it's so interesting. I was with the delegates, and they remembered me from 20 or so years ago, and many of them came over very, very friendly. They are terrorized by the Arabs and their wealth and the oil that the Arabs are able to deliver or not deliver. Now, what I read just yesterday in the papers is that we have suddenly decided that the Western Hemisphere is swimming in energy. It was front page of the New York Times, oil and natural gas. And then you got the nuts who say, no, you mustn't dig. That's a problem, because energy is key to the world's economy. And wouldn't it be wonderful if we took the place of supply away from Saudi Arabia? Because that same article said that there are states in the Western Hemisphere, including Canada and northern United States, where we have more energy than Saudi Arabia. If we were the dominant force, then there would be less power on the part of the Arab Muslim nations. So let me conclude with this. You know, it's a miracle that Jews are alive, right? I mean, when you think about all we have been through, it's just incredible. And I have always been very, very proud of my traditions. I've never stepped back. And I think that one of our problems is, and I don't have the answer to it, is to awaken that spirit in all our young Jewish men and women. It's not there the way it once was. And that's something that we have to deal with. I mean, they should be in this room, so to speak, instead of oblivious to the issue. And so, Durban 3, a bump in the road, I think we beat them. I think there's more attention being paid to what we're saying than what they're saying. But one of the things that we have to deal with is this failure on the part of youth, to a great extent, to join with us and to recognize how proud they should be for all that the Jewish people, as Alan pointed out, have given to the world over the years. I wrote a piece the other day, a commentary, wherein I said, you know, there are the Arab Islamists who take the position that what has the Jews got to do with any part of Palestine, Israel? I mean, like, we have no rights there. That somehow or other we were foisted upon the region in order to make up for the Holocaust. We were there for 3,000 years. Whether it's the patriarch Abraham or Moses or King David or King Solomon or Jesus and his 12 apostles, they were all Jews. And that's a message that has to be gotten out. Many people don't know that. And then finally, and this is truly finally, there is a tendency amongst Jews to reject the Christian fundamentalist support for Israel. Such Jews are nuts. You know, I once said to Hadassah Group, I thank the Christian fundamentalists for their support of Israel. And one woman got up and said, you know, I'm really upset because, you know, Mayor, the reason that they support us is that they believe that when the Messiah returns, from their point of view, that Jews will have to convert or die. I said, it's easy to handle. Let me tell you how to handle this. If there is news in the land that a Messiah is in our midst, seek him out and ask him this question. are you Jewish? Because the Messiah must be of the line of David. And if he says yes, then say to him, is this your first visit or your second? Now, if he says it's his first visit, they have to convert. Thank you very much.